with us. We're good to go, Ms. Lauren? Okay. I will now call the regular meeting of the Louisville Air Pollution Control Board to order. We are conducting the monthly meeting today via video teleconference. Roll call board members that are present on the teleconference. When I call your name, please say here. Jeffrey Coburn.
Here.
Candace Strobe White.
Here.
Thank you. Marissa Neal. Thank you. Charlie Bell can't join us this morning, I understand. Sajad Jamil. No. Okay. Introductions today, Ms. Hamilton.
I have one introduction this morning. I don't really need that. This morning, board, I'd like to introduce you to Karen Thorne. She is a registered professional engineer currently serving as the district's industrial permitting supervisor. And she has graciously agreed to serve as the secretary treasurer while we transition with Michelle in her new position and add on new staff here at the district. So Karen, thank you so much for your help.
Thank you. I'd also like to welcome Carl Hilton back to join us. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Public recognitions. We're gonna wait for the
We're
moment.
going to wait for that.
Okay, very good. Approval of minutes. So the meetings of the public hearing and regular meeting held on May 15th, 2024 were distributed electronically for review. Are there any changes to the minutes by board members?
No.
Okay, hearing no corrections or changes, the minutes are approved. We'll move to the public comment period. Ms. Thorne, is anybody registered to make a statement this morning?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. Has anyone provided a written comment today?
No.
Okay. Are there any members of the public in the Edison room that wish to make a statement? If so, please raise your hand or approach the podium. Thank you. Are there any members of the public that wish to make a brief comment on this video teleconference? Please raise your hand. Video teleconference you'll be called upon. This is a feature you can find on the participants list or by pressing *3 if joined by phone, and you will be called upon. Ms. Thorne?
I see no raised hands.
Thank you. This completes the public comment portion of our meeting. There is no unfinished business. Moving right along, there is no new business. In regards to committee reports, no committees have met. There will be some upcoming meetings here in the not too distant future.
Yes.
So very good. Moving right along now, we'll go to the staff reports. Ms. Hamilton.
So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. This is not our regular board meeting day. Of course, we meet regularly on the third Wednesday of each month at 10 a.m., but due to yesterday's Juneteenth holiday, it's been rescheduled to today. There is an air quality alert for ozone today. This is our third or fourth that we've issued this year. We have seen ozone development that has exceeded the current national ambient air quality standard of 70 parts per billion. We'll likely see more. Right now, we do have a mass of stagnant air, a heat dome that is covering our area. And that is causing additional complications, not just for air pollution, but also just for health from exposure to heat. So for APCD staff, if you're working in the field, please be mindful of the heat. Take precautions for heat exposure. If you are in a neighborhood, if you can check on older neighbors and be sure that they're handling this heat, just come on us so quickly. Well, that too would be welcome. With respect to the board, we will be back on our regular schedule next month. I believe we may have frozen up. Can you check with Andy? Give us just a moment here.
I'm remoting back in to see what's going on.
Thank you, Andy.
Good time to stretch since we're not on, I guess. Right?
I don't know, maybe they can see this.
No,
Yes.
that'd be big. Kind of like a mute, unmute.
Okay. I know that us on the other end of the WebEx can hear you fine and can see you fine. Is it the
Okay.
television that is frozen up?
Yes.
Okay. That would require me coming downstairs. So give me just a moment.
We can,
Take a break for a minute or just proceed?
Michelle's gonna try the old fashioned way.
Okay.
Turn it on and off.
Reboot.
Oh, see, it's still, has Apple on the screen. You know. By the time Andy gets down here to fix it, it'll work.
Can you see it on your computers?
Yeah, it's not frozen on the.
So we can go ahead and proceed, I think.
We can go ahead and, right, we'll go ahead and proceed, and if Andy can get us down
Okay.
here, that's fine. If not, we won't worry about it in the room. So we will be back on our regular schedule next month. Board committee assignments for those new members have been sent or will be sent shortly. The policy committee, they will need to meet likely before the next board meeting to elect a policy committee chair. In addition, the board will be holding its leadership elections during the regular meeting next month as well. Floor nominations may be accepted, but please go ahead as board members and consider upcoming elections. And if you don't remember that process, it's a very lengthy process, but we'll work through it together. I also need to ask if you've not completed your financial disclosure form, to please do so as quickly as possible. If you need a notary, Monica Little in our office is available. Just give us a call and we'll be sure that she's in the office to help you. As always, we're currently interviewing for an engineer one position, a data analyst position, and a reg coordinator. Happy to say that this afternoon we'll be interviewing for 2 of those positions, and we're really looking forward to seeing those candidates. We have some really great candidates in the queue. We've also posted for an environmental chemist position. This is grant funded from our Rubbertown Air Toxics and Health Action, for our RATHA acronym project. Next month, we'll go ahead and do a deeper dive into that project, the board overview of APCD's upcoming work, as well as that of our partners. And we'll also preview together EPA's most recent air tox screen modeling tool, which now provides an annual risk screening at the census block level, as opposed to a 3-year analysis at the census tract. So, with that in mind, it's really amazing to me over the life of my career, how the technology has increased and continues to increase in an ever fast pace, not just for our air monitoring, but also for our air modeling. So we look forward to sharing that information with you. All that work, though, does require really well-qualified staff to do. And EPA has now determined that running an auto GC, which was actually a project that came out of EPA's Office of Research and Development, to determine whether or not it was possible to take an auto GC and put it in the field for continuous air monitoring measurement. They did that through a process called the shootout. Well, we've been running that equipment now for several years, and EPA has data now to look at to better understand how it works in an agency like ours. They've now determined that operating one auto GC requires 2 full-time employees. We have 2 auto GCs here in Louisville, 1 FTE. And so we're really looking forward to that environmental chemist position. So they work on the WLATS, training and working to assist with that in the future.
Does EPA ever provide funding to help support those staff positions?
I'm glad you raised that issue. nationally, air pollution control agencies are still funded at 2004 levels. We received confirmation this morning that our funding for the upcoming federal fiscal year will remain the same as fiscal year 2023. So they do provide funding. It used to be much more like 75%. And now we're down around 20-ish, depending on where inflation is. So with that in mind, given that we have a requirement to do photochemical assessment monitoring during June through August as part of the 2015 ozone National Ambient Air Quality Standards, we're not going to be providing an air toxic summary to the board at this time. We want our environmental chemist to spend her time being sure that the data we're receiving from both Cannon's Lane Photochemical Assessment or CAMS equipment, Auto GC, and our Algonquin Parkway Air Toxics Monitor is good, valid data, it's principal data that we have time to look at daily readings and be sure that we're taking action on that data. The data will be available. We just won't be providing a summary to the board at this point. Any questions about that?
How, the chemist position, that's obviously soft money, right? For the grant from Rubber Town.
What does soft money mean?
It has a sunset date.
Correct.
What is that timeframe?
So the position is funded for 2 years.
2 years?
So keep in mind though, and that's actually the next topic here, which is the budget, that APCD is also self-funded through our permit program and other fees. And so we do have a schedule of fees that were last updated in 2013. They are annually updated by the Consumer Price Index. In fact, I think we may have already posted the new fee schedule that will begin on July 1. But we will be evaluating whether we need to raise those fees more.
What's the process by which you do that?
It's
Right.
rulemaking.
Okay,
So as with all of our rulemaking, the district would need to prepare a regulatory package, take it to a committee, have a committee review it, put it out for public comment, and provide a justification sufficient for the public to comment on and for the board to take action on. Metro Council does vote on this year's Metro budget. We do receive some funding from Metro government, but our whole budget is approved in that package. We'll share details of our budget with the board once it's finalized. And as always, we continue to evaluate needs, and they are ever increasing due to the complexities of our air quality management, particularly when we're talking about these low national ambient air quality standards, new equipment and other technology advances, and of course, new pollution challenges and opportunities. We've seen a number of new and emerging contaminants from ethylene oxide to PFAS, PFOAs. We know there'll be work coming down the pike for those and other things. But certainly when we look at the technology, our air monitoring network is more complex than most computers. But just think about how many times you bought a new iPhone and how that new technology has opened up new opportunities for you, as well as spending a lot more time in some cases having to readjust and figure out how to do it all over again. So again, we'll bring that budget information to the board possibly in August, given the air tox screen and the Rubber Town Air Toxics Health Assessment overview scheduled for next month. We do have some hiring and some other adjustments, including upcoming negotiations with our union. We currently have about 20% of our staff part of the AFSCME master union contract. And so we'll be joining them at the table to finalize a new contract in the next month or so.
Is that metro-wide, the union contract negotiations?
There are other agencies who are part of the AFSCME master, but there are, I think, 40 some metro unions. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot. We're glad to get to the table. We know our staff have been kind of, their contract ended last June. So they've been waiting to come to the table and they are ready to be there. So we look forward to that. Any other questions? I have a very brief presentation this morning. Andy, if you could go ahead and show that.
You're gonna. Bigger. Maybe I have to change it later. Better than that, installed. Not still share. There.
That should be shared.
All right. Thank you, Andy and Karen and Michelle. So this is a very, very short presentation, but it's a really fun topic. So Andy, if you can advance it to the next slide, please. So APCD has partnered with the Metro Parks Alliance of Louisville and Louisville Parks and Recreation to install an air sensor at Alberta O. Jones Park. And this is Metro's newest park. And it is just a beautiful park. And so what you're seeing there is a picture of the sensor that's up on the pole that you see there. And it will be there measuring the air quality. Equally as important, it'll be there to show people what the air quality is at the park. And so we're currently working with Public Works to get a sign made to install below the sensor. Matt Mudd has put together this mock-up here, which is just beautiful. You'll see the colors across there correspond to the colors of the air quality index, but it just makes for a really nice sign. And the sensor that is installed there is commercially available. It is measuring only fine particulate pollution, and it does provide live air quality conditions, again, using the air quality index. You can find more information about the project on our website, and that would be on a page specifically for sensors in parks. There's a screenshot. Next slide, please. That's the screenshot of that air sensors in parks page. And it has more information about sensors, their advantages, limitations, what the sensors measure, and links to live data from the sensors themselves. Data can also be found nationally. That's on US EPA's Air Now, Fire, and Smoke map, which you see in the other picture there, as well as on the Purple Air map. That's actually the company whose sensor we've installed in the park. You'll note on the fire and smoke map that there are round green circles. Those are our air monitoring stations. The squares, you'll see two small squares, one over near West Louisville, that's the A.O. Jones. There's one near downtown, kind of over towards Swift. And then there are four that are out in East Louisville. And each morning when we look at our air monitoring data from our own equipment, we can pop in and see the air quality from these sensors as well. To date, that array in East Louisville has had really nice comparability to our air monitoring stations. We're really interested to see what these sensors in parks show us about other more urban environments. So again, one of the reasons why we are able to do this is because Metro government has taken an investment in putting Wi-Fi in parks. So it's easy for us to have data set up there. They also purchased a bucket truck in our Office of Metro Technology Services. So it makes it really easy to go and install these on landfills. So we continue to look for ways to expand our partnerships, both with parks, thank you, Michelle, as well as with Metro. So any questions about this?
Is this the first one
It's the first one
of
that
its kind?
we've installed.
Okay,
The purple air sensors, this map is showing 5 or 6 now.
and those are operated by ABCD?
No,
Okay, independent.
and those are
Okay,
low-cost sensors that people have purchased and installed at their homes
okay.
or other locations.
And then, so somebody who's at the park, they can find the data online. Or is there a visual at the site itself?
Yes, go back one slide, please, Andy. See that know your, oop,
Ooh,
all right, next slide, please. There you go. See that know your air? That is the sign that we are going to be installing underneath the monitor. And you see there, it provides information, not only kind of old school now, where you can go to the website with the web address, but also a QR code. If you have your smartphone, then you can just snap it and it will take.
right,
you-
but there's no visual on the machine itself, the sensor itself, right, that says,
No.
like, okay, thank you.
Nope.
It'll be cool.
Wouldn't be that hard to do.
Wouldn't think so, but that's, yeah, okay.
Colored lines.
So, you know, we have a air sensor lending library project that we will be standing up. And in addition to the purple air, we're looking at some other air sensors from other companies. Purple air has right now the easiest interface. It's really easy for people to see that kind of localized neighborhood level reading from these national maps.
And what kind of money does that cost? Anybody know? A few $100.
So right now, particulate matter sensors are very robust. They give really good data. Sensors for other pollutants such as volatile organic compounds, they are still growing in their ability to detect chemicals and then their concentrations. So that's work to come. Any other questions? Board members? Thank you, Andy. You can close the presentation. Okay. So with that, I want to thank everybody for their patience. We're going to need more of it as we have Michelle start her new job this week with parks. I don't know where the month has gone. So bear with us. I've shared this before, and so I'll share it again today. When I graduated from college, my dad cross-stitched a poem that is attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson on what is success. And he defined it as to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation. To know even one life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. That has really special meaning for us here at APCD, since what we work on is the air that people breathe. In addition to that, this really is a philosophy that can translate into other parts, not just a personal attribute, but how you do business. And in working with Michelle since 2009, what I know is that she leads her employees by example. She empowers them to make decisions. She has a very high ethical and creative corporate philosophy. The same benefits that we've gotten here from APCD, the parks will also receive. And as much as I will miss that on a daily basis, I'm confident that her new work will bring more to our own work, and that we will find ways to collaborate to improve not only air quality, but quality of life here in Louisville and continue the good work we do together. I can't at this point say that we'll continue to dress alike. I don't know who I'm going to start dressing alike. Now, it's not planned. It happens more days than we care to count, including today. So here we are. But I'm grateful to Michelle, and I'm grateful for her in this role. And I am just ever excited to see her in the next.
Thank you.
So, Michelle, the floor is yours.
Thank you both. Very kind words, and really a good example of the kind of support I've had under Rachel's leadership. And so it's really been a pleasure to serve with you, as it has been a pleasure to serve with the other members, current, past, of the APCD team and board. Thank you so much. It's really been an honor to serve our community here at APCD, and I hope that every employee here, member of the board, current and past, really knows how important our work is to our community. And it is truly a privilege for us to do this. And on the days when it feels like a grind, it's great to remember that there's really a high calling that we have for what we do here. And I will miss it tremendously. I'm very excited about the new role that I'll get to play with the Parks and Recreation team here in Louisville. But I can say it's bittersweet indeed to leave behind an APCD family that I've come to know and love. So I'll just leave it at that. Thankful to Peggy. Thank you all very much.
Well, Michelle, I want to say on behalf of the board, we certainly appreciate all your dedication and work that you've done in the past, and you're surely going to be missed. You do a great job down the road, I'm sure. And I imagine our paths will cross again
I hope so.
and come back.
Absolutely.
Every meeting, you have to come back. So,
Maybe not ever.
we'll let everyone, I'm sure you won't be busy.
Any questions?
Not for me. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on and get to the cake here in a minute. Air quality reports were distributed electronically. You'll note, along with the air action days, that we did exceed ozone on, I guess, last Tuesday or Thursday, I believe.
Oh.
Both days.
Tuesday
And Wednesday. And another one today. So
In all likelihood, we'll see continued air quality alerts through the weekend. So we get more of a bit of a break with the weather.
So we'll see. And I must say that the information gets out in the public big time. I mean, everywhere you look, somebody's mentioned in their quality alert days. So that's great. Not great that we have them, but great it's getting communicated. So I don't think there's anything too unusual on the other reports. Does anybody have a question on those? Any board member? Okay. With that, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Again, if you haven't signed in, please do so. If not, share will be on you. So with that, the next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, July 17th at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Short and sweet.
For short and sweet.